right across the beach. Proceed to the airfield. Destroy an ammo dump, eliminating the remaining resistance. Sit tight till our relief arrives. Any questions?
Battlefield 6 is EA's last hope. Come, let me show you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So we have ourselves a pretty major story, a story that me personally, I didn't see coming. I don't know if you guys saw this coming. You can let me know in the comments down below.
I think
I
that
did not
Park
see
Place
this
saw it
coming,
coming.
but it
I
is
don't
being
know.
reported by multiple different outlets right now that EA is reportedly about to be sold in a record-setting $50 billion buyout to an investor group that includes private equity and Saudi Arabia. Now, this is highly suspicious to me. The reason why is because, number one, I mean, listen, a lot of companies are going private now. They're trying to buy themselves out and go private for whatever reason that may be. I get that. I understand that. But Saudi Arabia is heavily involved in a lot of video game franchises and studios now,
That's
where
right.
it's becoming highly questionable. They even just purchased Evo, which is the biggest fighting tournament in the world. They purchased that, and now they have full control of that on top of other things as well. They have a 97% control over SNK. The Saudi prince has 97% control over that. It's just blowing my mind that this is even happening. And $50 billion, I mean, that is a lot of money for EA. Now, don't get it twisted. EA makes insane amount of money, okay? EA with their microtransactions and their sport video games, their yearly releases, they make insane money.
They made a lot of money, but they still fumble the bag when it comes to, I don't know, Anthem, believe so, and Dragon Age Veilguard, Star Wars Outlaw. I think Star Wars Outlaw. No, that's Ubisoft. Battlefield 6 is probably the last hope. This kind of report couldn't come in the. I don't know when they reported that EA are about to be sold. If it says it will start earlier next week, the timing could have been worse because Battlefield 6 is coming. It's like probably close to Battlefield 6 launch date. That is, that's concerning.
These games, everybody knows that. But $50 billion seems massive to me for this particular company. But hey, we're going to talk about it and see exactly what's going on here. So as reported by the Wall Street Journal, gaming giant EA is set to go private. That is no longer be traded on the stock market in a $50 billion deal with an investor group. This would be the largest such leverage buyout ever recorded. According to the SWJ's anonymous sources, EA could be sold for as much as $50 billion, though the final price has not yet been agreed on, and EA has an estimated market value of about $43 billion. The group of investors reportedly includes the private equity firm Silver Lake and the government of Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund. I can't even imagine what it must be like to move around this level of money, right? I'm sure like maybe in Saudi Arabia, this shit's normal, but I can't imagine moving around this level of money when you're talking about buying things for multiple billions of dollars. It's mind-blowing to me. Even for a company like EA, it's mind-blowing to me. The fact that they have an estimated market value of $43 billion is insane to me. But in any case, the deal could be announced as early as next week. And I'm telling you right now, if they announce that EA is going private, I don't know what that's going to mean for the industry. I don't know what that's going to mean for the games that they make. I have no idea what it's going to mean for anything, to be honest with you. It's not often as something this big comes along where you have a company of this magnitude going private. It doesn't happen very often, right? Steam is one of the biggest companies out there
That's right.
that is currently private. They didn't go private. They've always been private. I can't imagine
That's right.
EA suddenly going private and being fully in control of all their IPs with no investors to worry about, no outside sources to worry about, no ESG reports that they have to do. I just can't imagine them doing it, to be honest with you. But the deal can be announced again as early as next week. It will be the largest leverage buyout ever recorded. A leverage buyout is when a private equity firm uses a significant amount of borrowed money to seal the deal, with the assets set to be acquired used as collateral in the debt. This effectively leaves the acquired company liable for the debt. If its income can't adequately service the debt, it will bear the consequences of a default, not the investors who made the purchase. And that usually means closures and layoffs. As reported by the Los Angeles Times, one such leverage buyout eventually resulted in bankruptcy and closure for the once ubiquitous toy retailer Toys R Us. The fact that the upper bound cited for the deal is proportionally close to EA's estimated value, what's $7 billion between friends, could give reason for optimism that EA's debt burden will be proportional to its means. Even aside from the eventual bankruptcy, though, there's precedent for acquisitions like this causing massive disruptions to the company. Microsoft cut 1,900 jobs at Xbox in January of 2024, shortly after its acquisition of Activision Blizzard, and Blizzard Entertainment was heavily affected in particular. Now, I remember when the whole situation happened with Microsoft,
Hmm.
Blizzard, and Activision. They tried to do this whole gaslight where they were trying to tell their employees, don't worry, everything's going to be fine. We have no plans to let people off.
Well, actually, what they're saying means yes, we're letting you off. So bye bye. EA was once the best company back in the days, okay? I mean, they create Medal of Honor. Yeah, Medal of Honor series. I mean, I love Medal of Honor, but after Medal of Honor 2010 and Warfighters, things change. I mean, we should have seen it coming. I think maybe when you change someone new, which I hope whoever they hire this time, course correct. I think EA has a lot of bloat. Regardless, yes, there are some good people who are working in the industry, such as the ones in Battlefield 6 and their sports category. Other titles has been bloated, like Dragon Age Veilguard.
A place for everybody. And after all that bullshit came out, like not even a couple of weeks later, we saw the bloodbath and people were losing their jobs in mass like crazy. They were just dropping one by one by one. The same thing's going to happen here. EA going private, I'm sure they're going to look at places like BioWare, for example.
Correct.
They're going to look at BioWare and be like, why are you even open? What the fuck do you provide that you're even open right now? You guys haven't made money in over 10 years. What are you providing?
Actually, I think the Saudi Arabia should ask them this. What the hell are you doing? I don't know if the Saudi Arabia have seen the non-binary clip from Dragon Age Veilguard, Tosh. Well, if they saw that, BioWare is gonna get demolished. I don't know how they're gonna do that. Oh, wait a minute. Mass Effect. Yeah, Mass Effect is gonna be concerning because don't forget there's also Mass Effect 5. I don't know how that's gonna work because they could either delay Mass Effect 5 or cancel it outright. Again, like I said, the timing of this couldn't be worse.
So they're all going to be gone, right? But in any case, Microsoft cut 1,900 jobs and they were heavily affected. The other known quantity in the purported deal, the Saudi Arabian Public Investment Fund, has been making inroads in games for several years as part of a multifaceted push into global media and entertainment. This has included the following: sports, Saudi Arabia Pro League Football, LIV Golf, the Professional Fighters League; entertainment, investment in Hollywood films, ownership stakes in game companies like Nintendo and Capcom, including a 10% stake in EA prior to this deal. Sports entertainment, Saudi Arabia made a $1 billion deal in 2018 to host major WWE events in the kingdom.
Yes, it is going to be, this one here is going to be held in 2027. Certain Triple H or whoever's running WWE is going to be happy with this. Okay, for investment in Hollywood, I'm gonna have to think about, what about you guys? What do they invest for Hollywood films? Because if this is also investing, I don't think they invest all of it, okay? At least some of it, if my theory is correct. It's gonna get layoff. I mean, we've seen with Microsoft, 1,900 people lay off. That's not a joke. That's no joke, folks. But sadly, yes, EA may have their Battlefield 6 and their FIFA or Madden, whatever it is. But take a look with Dragon Age Veilguard. Dragon Age Veilguard took 10 years. How many money did they lost? Yes, there were 60k less, or in this case 60k players in Steam. Long-term success is not viable. That player count is not viable for a long-term success.
Critics of the Saudi Arabian government have called the practice sports washing, or using a growing influence and ubiquity in the entertainment industry to distract from the government's human rights record. EA, much like its competitor Ubisoft, has struggled in recent years. Well, that's because you guys just keep doing dumb shit, right? You guys keep investing money in shit that nobody cares about. You over rely on your microtransactions. You over rely on your sports games, and you have other games that have come up that have completely flopped, and then you gaslight people about them. You're not honest about them, and then you keep making the same shit over and over and over again.
To all video game developers who are doing honest works, whether you are indie, AA, or games made in the East, from now, don't listen to journalists, okay? Journalists and critics, mostly video game journalists, they will not help your video game succeed. YouTubers are the new media. Think about that.
That's the reason why you guys are in the place that you're in right now. Once formidable titans, both have been left behind as consolidation efforts have turned Microsoft and Sony into unsaleable super heavyweights. At the same time, smaller publishers like Dread, XP, Devolver, and PlayStack have become ubiquitous at the other end of the budget spectrum. It seems like this journalist just discovered the word ubiquitous and now can't stop using it. EA lost the lucrative FIFA license, which was huge, by the way, leading to its new generalized EAFC series. Beloved RPG developer BioWare was sharply downsized after Dragon Age The Veilguard proved a relative sales failure.
That's right.
The impending release of Battlefield 6, which has seen a massive beta numbers and positive critical reception, is looking like a much needed win for the company. I'm sure they need it and they need it bad. At this point, EA, this is probably why they're trying to do the whole like, we're listening, gamers. We're listening to you. We're listening to everything you say you want. Just believe us and come buy our game. Buy our game. Play it, please. We need you.
And also, EA, if you really want Battlefield 6 to succeed, stop listening to Call of Duty streamers like FaceSwag, Tim the Tatman. Stop listening to them. You want Battlefield 6 to succeed? Don't listen to COD streamers.
I'm sure Battlefield 6 is going to be one of the last hoorahs for EA. And if it doesn't explode in a player base or it doesn't maintain its player base over time, they're going to have a very, very difficult few years ahead. But in any case, should the deal go through, here are some of the major studios and games that could be affected. BioWare, Respawn,
Exactly.
DICE, Maxis, the Madden NFL and EA Sports
Maxis.
College Football Series, the dormant Dead Space and Need for Speed series, the once dormant Skate, which recently resurrected,
Sims.
the Command and Conquer series, and the Origin
that
Systems
sucks.
back catalog, including Ultima and Wing Commander, Pepperidge Farm remembers. Now, these are all pretty major franchises that if they were to
that's
suddenly disappear or go under someone else's ownership, that's going to send a ripple effect throughout the industry.
First off, good video. Oh, just if you watch that, I want you to replay the section, pause it. Because the first studio that will be effective is BioWare. Mass Effect and Dragon Age, okay? Think about that. They haven't announced Mass Effect 5, so I'm not certain if Mass Effect 5 is going to get cancelled or delayed, because we haven't heard anything from them, whether they are in development or not. So here's the thing, I think if EA should have listened, at least way before the Battlefield 2042 controversy, maybe things like this won't happen. So I would say Battlefield 6 is EA's last chance, and I'm certain people are now buying it, only the problem is right now Battlefield fans, well in this case EA's next problem is of course Call of Duty streamers like FaceSwag, Tim the Tatman. Many Call of Duty streamers want to exploit the movement. I hope EA or DICE doesn't listen to them, okay? If these Call of Duty streamers says that your game will flop or anything because you don't have any BR, Battle Royale, or movement exploit like the bunny hop, don't listen to them, okay? Do what you do best. That's it.
Well done, Griffin. Now we got this airfield secured, we can get a foothold on this island and start pushing the Japanese back. We're through retreating, lad. America's back in this war.
The Marines, aided by U.S. soldiers and local inhabitants, were finally victorious. Later in the war, the Marines and their unique battle tactics would prove invaluable.